Hello, hello. All right, so it's a random time. It's 2:30. I just got out of physical therapy. Before I drive home, I was supposed to get on yesterday and talk about what I've learned from this book that I've been reading, and I just didn't get the chance to. So I'm going to do it now, and hopefully, maybe a couple of people will join me live right now. And if not, what I would love for you to do is make sure that you comment replay so that I know that you watched this on the replay. But one of the things that I have been doing a lot of research into in the last, let's say, I guess it's been about 6 months now, has been enzymes. Okay, so let me know if any of you currently supplement your nutrition with any type of enzyme. The best form of enzyme is a plant-based enzyme, as far as the sourcing of your enzyme. But let me know if you currently use enzymes. I know I personally, up until about 6-7 months ago, I had been made aware of them. I had tried a few in for various reasons, but I didn't understand the necessity of them. Okay, so what I want to do, and I do have notes. So I just finished reading this book, and this, along with some other research that I've been doing, has been really eye-opening to the missing link, why enzyme therapy, enzyme supplementation should truly be a part of everyone's basic health plan, and because of what it does in order to support and reduce the symptoms of it can help with everything, truly, honestly. So I want to start with so a lot of the research of this is not brand new. This has been around for a really long time. It's just not out there, or I didn't know about it. So maybe, tell me if you've heard about enzyme therapy, but too, go ahead and leave that in the comments. Cause it's just not something that, use a hashtag enzymes if you're going to comment on that. Cause it wasn't something that I was really aware of. So in 1962, the American Medical Association said that virtually all disease can be traced to missing or faulty enzymes. So a couple of the theories out there on enzymes is basically we're born and we create enzymes over time, but when we overutilize our enzymes, we deplete our reserve. And if we aren't intaking foods that help to replenish our enzymes internally, then we get to a point of enzyme deficiency, and that enzyme deficiency starts to present itself with clinical symptoms. Okay, so if the organism is supplied with enzymes during the entire lifetime, so you're eating things like fermented foods and all of that, then many diseases of advanced age would be reduced. Okay. But populations, what they talk about is that populations that consume fermented foods on a daily basis have longer lifespans. There's been studies on that just basically those that consume fermented foods regularly live longer, okay? Because enzymes are created within the microbial cultures that are found in fermented foods. And I know I'm not someone that eats fermented foods, although I do now. My favorite is kombucha. That's probably my primary fermented food that I drink. But I'm not big on fermented foods. So I know that I'm not likely ingesting proper enzymes on a regular basis. Enzymes themselves, why are they so important? What's the big deal? They are literally responsible for thousands of metabolic processes that occur in our bodies. Everything from the digestion of our food to the synthesis of our DNA. So like repair and recovery, all is dependent on enzymes. And if you're part of my health and wellness group, I posted today about B vitamins, and so many of the B vitamins are coenzymes. So they work along with another enzyme in order to do something important in our body. But if we don't have that coenzyme for the B vitamin to work with, then we don't have the proper building blocks to do the things that need to be done inside our body. That makes sense? Okay. So the stress of eating cooked foods on our digestive system is actually, not only is it impairing our digestive system, it's impairing our immune function, and it's impairing our metabolism. And the reason for that, what's so bad about cooked foods, you cook nearly everything, right? At 120 degrees Fahrenheit, you disable the function of the enzyme. So for all of that cooked food, all the nutritional value that comes with those foods, you've actually removed it by cooking it. So the importance on eating raw food, raw vegetables, raw fruits is really the key to making sure that your food, that what you're eating also has enzymatic function inside your body. And if you are more dependent on cooked diet, you aren't getting those enzymes because you've disabled the enzymes by cooking it. Pretty interesting, right? So leave me a comment or two about, are you more of a cooked diet or a raw food diet? I know now I'm being really intentional about adding raw food to each of my meals because of the knowledge I've gained about what cooked food does to enzymes. So let me know where you are with your cooked versus raw food diet. Okay. So it has been found, and this is data from actually 2004, so this isn't even the most updated data, but 60 to 70 million people are affected by all digestive diseases. And in 2004, 72 million ambulatory care visits had a primary diagnosis of digestive disease. The indirect cost alone in US, and this is mortality, 3/4 of this is mortality, and another quarter of this is loss of work due to digestive disease, accounted for $44 billion in medical care. And if you combine the indirect and the direct cost of digestive disease in the US, it comes to $141.8 billion. And most of this can be linked back to poor enzyme function inside our body. Like that baffles me. Like it makes sense. It makes sense, but that's not the focus, I feel like, when you're being treated for a digestive disease. I know personally, I've suffered from IBS and lactose intolerance and all of that, and that has not been the focus of treatment when I've been having the issues I've had. Enzymes have really never been brought up, okay? So the three primary enzymes, lipase, amylase, and protease, okay? So amylase is what breaks down our starch. Indigestion from poor breakdown of starch leads to acid. This is the leading cause of symptoms of acidosis, and the acidosis is the leading cause of agitation to our neurologic system, which then leads to acute and chronic pain. Comment if you know someone who suffers from acute or chronic pain. I have suffered from chronic pain for the last 2 years almost. And what I am finally on the road to recovery. And it's not just because I had surgery, but it's also because of this focus on health and what I am doing to make sure that I am reducing the inflammatory processes that are in my body that don't need to be there. Okay. So then lipase has been linked to obesity due to the insufficient levels of lipase in the body. And lipase is what breaks down our fats, right? So not only does it lead to obesity, but when there's an inadequate amount of protease and lipase, it is the foundation for all major degenerative disease and weight gain. Just those three enzymes, you guys, and there's so many more enzymes. I'll probably do another live that goes into more detail, but I'm just focusing on like the beginnings of what I'm learning, right? So overall, okay, enzymes can be linked to all disease, virtually all disease. Insufficient or faulty enzyme function can be the key to all of that, okay? If you can ingest enzymes naturally through fermented raw foods, you're on the right road. You're doing good. But if you are unable to do that, finding a plant-based enzyme supplement is imperative for your health. Imperative. But it's not just enzymes, you guys. Enzyme supplementation combined with exercise and a healthy mindset, those three things are needed for the most effective outcomes. And I hope that I talk about all of those on a regular basis. So enzyme supplementation plus exercise and a healthy mind is what's going to lead to the most effective outcomes. So Thank you for listening. Remember, if you did jump on the recording, put hashtag replay in the comments so that I know that you watched. Leave any questions. If you learned something, I'd love to know what you learned. If you have questions about what I just said, let me know. If you want more information on what I've been doing in regards to plant-based supplements, I'd love to talk more with you about it.